Prime Minister Narendra Modi is officially gearing up for a historic third term. His swearing-in is going to be taking place on the 9th of June at about 6 in the evening. Addressing the NDA's parliamentary party meeting today, the Prime Minister spoke for almost 1.5 hours, praising the NDA's performance as well as the BJP's wins, particularly in the south, saying we are neither defeated, neither will be defeated, calling the alliance the most organic and successful that India has seen. But also taking on the Congress sharply today, accusing it of not even being able to win 100 seats despite being in the opposition for 10 years.
हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति में गठबंधन के इतिहास में प्री पोल अलायंस इतना सफल कभी भी नहीं हुआ है जितना कि एनडीए हुआ। सरकार चलाने के लिए बहुमत आवश्यक है। लोकतंत्र का वही एक सिद्धांत है, लेकिन देश चलाने के लिए सर्वमत बहुत जरूरी होता है। और मैं आज देशवासियों को यहां से विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि आपने जिस प्रकार से हमें बहुमत देकर के सरकार चलाने का सौभाग्य दिया है, ये हम सबका दायित्व है कि हम सर्वमत का निरंतर प्रयास करेंगे और देश को आगे ले जाने के लिए हम कोई कोर कसर नहीं छोड़ेंगे। ये लोग तय करके बैठे थे कि भारत के लोकतंत्र और लोकतंत्र की प्रक्रिया के प्रति विश्वास ही लोगों का उठ जाए और लगातार ईवीएम को गाली देना। और मुझे तो लगता था कि शायद इस बार वो ईवीएम की अर्थी का जुलूस निकालेंगे, लेकिन 4 जून शाम आते आते उनको ताले लग गए। ईवीएम ने उनको चुप कर दिया। आशा करता हूं कि 5 साल तो अब ईवीएम शायद मुझे नहीं सुनाई देगा, लेकिन जब 29 में हम जाएंगे तो फिर से शायद ईवीएम को लेकर के नाचने की शुरुआत करेंगे। साथियों, ये लोग कितने ही बड़े झूठे बोलते रहे हैं। और आप देखिए, चुनाव के समय उन्होंने देश के सामान्य नागरिक को गुमराह करने के लिए जो पर्चियां बांटी कि ये देंगे और वो देंगे और टिकना देंगे, फलाना देंगे। 2 दिन से मैं देख रहा हूं कि कांग्रेस के दफ्तरों पर लोग कतार लगा के खड़े हैं कि ये पर्ची है, 1 लाख रुपया कहां है, लाओ भाई, मांग रहे हैं लोग। यानी आपने जनता जनार्दन की आंखों में कैसा उनको भ्रमित किया, कैसी आंख में धूल झोंक दी।
Now, this meeting aimed to discuss the formation of the government with top leaders endorsing the Prime Minister's leadership.
साथियों, ये प्रस्ताव सिर्फ हम सब बैठे हुए चंद लोगों के मन की इच्छा नहीं, यहां बैठे हुए एनडीए के घटक दलों की एक सर्वसम्मत इच्छा भी नहीं है। ये प्रस्ताव 140 करोड़ की देश की जनता के मन का प्रतिघोष, देश के हर कोने से, हर तहसील से, हर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी से एक आवाज सामान्य रूप से उभर कर आई है कि इस देश का नेतृत्व अगले 5 साल के लिए श्री नरेंद्र मोदी करें।
हमें याद है 10 साल पहले उदासीन भारत था। 10 साल पहले भारत के बारे में यह कहा जाता था कि यहां कुछ बदलने वाला नहीं है। और आज 10 साल बाद मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में वही भारत आकांक्षी भारत बन गया और विकसित भारत के संकल्प को लेकर के चल पड़ा है। इसको भी हमको समझना चाहिए।
और साथियों, हम लोग सौभाग्यशाली हैं कि मोदी जी जैसा एक जन कल्याणकारी और संवेदनशील प्रधानमंत्री हम लोगों को मिलने जा रहा है। इनकी नेतृत्व क्षमता, इनकी कार्यकुशलता, इनका विजन, इसके कारण मैं मानता हूं कि हमारे एनडीए परिवार में भी वृद्धि हुई है। हम सबकी पहचान गठबंधन धर्म का निर्वाह करने वाले एक ऐसे परिवार के रूप में हुई है।
Now, the camaraderie between the ally leaders and Prime Minister Modi seemed to be peaking today, with laughs, applauses and appreciations being generously exchanged. Both of the NDA allies were sitting next to the Prime Minister, a significant display of the alliance's new dynamics. The portfolio allocation is, remember, one of the key items on the agenda, with the BJP now having to balance what kingmakers Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu want.
कि अगली बार जो आप आइएगा ना, तो इस बार हम देखें कि कुछ इधर उधर कुछ जीत गया है, अगली बार सब हारेगा, हमको पूरा भरोसा। ये सब बिना मतलब का बात बोल बोल करके क्या किया है? ये सब कोई काम किया है? उन लोगों ने आज तक कोई काम नहीं किया, देश की कोई सेवा नहीं की है। लेकिन आपने इतनी सेवा की है और उसके बाद इस तरह से हुआ है, तब इस बार फिर जो मौका मिला है, तो इस मौका के बाद आगे अब उन लोगों के लिए कोई गुंजाइश नहीं रहेगा, वो सब खत्म हो जाएगा।
Narendra Modi ji focused and dedicated approach has transformed the nation into a global powerhouse. Today, India is having a right leader, right time. That is Narendra Modi. It is a very good opportunity for India. If we miss now, we will miss forever. That is where we are having wonderful opportunity. You are seeing globally today, all countries are having 1 or 2%, 3% growth rate. India is growing at the highest growth rate for the last 10 years.
Now, NDA leaders have met with President Draupadi Murmu at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, staking claim to form the government. The Prime Minister is now officially going to be staking claim when he meets the President anytime now today. Meanwhile, while earlier, the Prime Minister met with veteran BJP leaders L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi, seeking their blessings ahead of the new government's swearing in. The PM, in fact, also met with former President Ramnath Kovind today. The Congress, meanwhile, their spokesperson, Pawan Khera, in fact, has launched a scathing critique against the NDA and the BJP. He dubbed the NDA as the Naidu-Nitish Dependent Alliance.
अपने पार्टी के शिखर जोशी,
अब वो एनडीए का फुल फॉर्म मालूम है आपको? नायडू डिपेंडेंट अलायंस या नीतीश डिपेंडेंट अलायंस। पिछले 10 साल में कितनी बार एनडीए का नाम लिया, कभी आपने सुना? गिनो। चलो आज मैं आप सबको होमवर्क देता हूं, मैं अपने आप को भी होमवर्क देता हूं। जितना पिछले 10 साल में एनडीए का नाम नहीं लिया, आज 1 घंटे में कितनी बार नाम ले लिया एनडीए का।
All right, let's also get you more of what senior BJP leaders and the ally leaders said today at this crucial mega meet of the NDA.
आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी इनका नाम प्रस्तावित किया है, मैं उसका अनुमोदन करता हूं और विशेष रूप से पिछले 10 साल में उनके नेतृत्व में कार्य करने का सौभाग्य हमको मिला। अपने कार्य से उन्होंने पूरे विश्व को भी प्रभावित किया है। अभी 10 साल में जो काम हुआ वो तो एक प्रकार से शुरुआत थी, पर इसके बाद आने वाले 5 साल में हम विश्व की एक महान ताकत बनेंगे, ऐसा हम सबको दृढ़ विश्वास है। मैं अपनी तरफ से आदरणीय मोदी जी को शुभकामनाएं और शुभेच्छाएं देता हूं।
शिवसेना के बारे में इतना ही मैं कहूंगा कि शिवसेना और भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक विचारधारा, एक समान विचारधारा वाली पार्टी है। बाबा साहेब ठाकरे जी के नेतृत्व में हमारे जो गठबंधन हुआ है, ये गठबंधन एक फेविकोल का जोड़ है, ये बिल्कुल टूटेगा नहीं।
मैं मेरे प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी को बधाई देता हूं। आपकी वजह से एनडीए को ये प्रचंड जीत हासिल हुई है। आप ही में वो इच्छा शक्ति थी कि जिसने इतिहास में
इस तरीके की प्रचंड जीत को दर्ज कराने का काम किया। यह कोई सामान्य बात नहीं था कि लगातार तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में एनडीए को इतनी बड़ी जीत मिलती गई। मैं चिराग पासवान, मेरी पार्टी लोक जनशक्ति पार्टी रामविलास की तरफ से एनडीए संसदीय दल के नेता पद पर श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नाम का समर्थन करता हूं।
All right, senior journalist Maya Sharma is joining us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Maya Sharma, good evening. Namaskar. Welcome to this broadcast. Big meet today of the NDA. Lots of, things that were listed as achievements of the government that have been done in the past. Lots of, that display of strength and support as well between the BJP and its allies. For you, what were the big highlights? What were the key takeaways from today?
Well, of course, the biggest thing, the expression of unity, the fact that even though, of course, they do hold a lot of the big cards, the TDP and the JDU, as of now, not really showing any sort of pressure tactics, not holding out, giving unconditional support, whether it's inviting, backing Prime Minister Modi for his third term. That is really the biggest thing in terms of the need to appear united is, of course, extremely important at this stage. After the less than expected performance of the BJP, it was very much needed for them to show that the other alliance partners are very much in their camp. That was the attempt of what the whole of today was about, formally electing Prime Minister Modi as the head of the NDA and setting already, like we're seeing visuals here of Chandrababu Naidu putting a shawl around Modi and really kind of that whole thing. That was really the major thing of today's meeting. We are all together. We are one. There's no problem here at all. That was the message being sent out by the allies at this meeting today.
Yeah. Also, Maya Sharma, you said about Modi 3.0. In fact, Nitish Kumar went ahead and even gave that sort of hint about Modi 4.0 when he said कि आप अगली बार आएंगे तो सबको हरा देंगे. But what do you make of this support that Nitish Kumar has shown? There are still speculations, despite whatever he said today, despite that overall strength and support that he gave to the Prime Minister and the BJP today. There is still speculation that, let's wait and watch how the infamous Palturam goes about in the next few years.
You look at a person and you look at their track record. Of course, we're all new human beings every single day. We all have a different future from the past. But looking at Nitish Kumar's track record, the way he has changed side, he is not really an ally that any political party would have a huge amount of faith in. They need him. They definitely need him. And the seats he has brought to the NDA from Bihar, they definitely need that. So, of course, there's no question of negotiating or actually being sort of expressing those doubts, shall we say. But that doubt will always be there with Nitish Kumar because of his track record. It's also very interesting that he's already raised the issue of Agniveer, questioning the scheme and perhaps talking about making changes there. That, of course, was a big scheme of Modi 2.0 government. And the very fact that he's talking about it now at this stage is very interesting and perhaps an indication that he will be raising his voice and actually trying to make changes in the government. We've seen all those images, and images, of course, hugely important, of photographs of the three of them. We've seen Prime Minister Modi sharing photo space, sharing photo ops with Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar. And Nitish Kumar is unlikely to take a backseat. But so recently, he was part of the India alliance. He was even touted as perhaps a potential prime ministerial candidate of the India alliance. Not so long ago, we're talking about in the run-up to this very election. So if there are any doubts about Nitish Kumar's loyalty and ability to stay the course, those doubts are probably really very valid. So it's very interesting to see what he will do in the days and weeks ahead.
Sure. You mentioned Agniveer, Maya. And we are seeing the kind of challenges that Modi 3.0 might be facing ahead. The murmurs are already there, whether it's Agniveer or the caste census. How do you see this really moving forward? How do you see the BJP really managing its coalition dharma?
It's going to be hugely interesting because, of course, for the last 10 years, it's been absolutely their court. They've had the numbers. They've been able to do what they wanted. They've been able to push through bills in Parliament without any real debate because of the sheer numbers in Parliament. it's going to take a whole change of mindset. That is going to be very interesting to see whether the BJP is able to accommodate itself, to be able to adapt to this whole coalition, to be able to make it a government of consensus, having to consult its alliance partners, and also to a certain extent having to pay greater attention to a reinvigorated opposition. Will they be able to do that, or will they go on as before, hoping to push their way through, to bulldoze their way through, whether it comes to important bills or important decisions or ordinances? It'll be very interesting to see, because how they plan to go on, they need to start the way they plan to go on. So we'll be able to see that pretty soon, whether they're going to be business as usual. We are the BJP, we are the biggest party, we are in control. Or whether from the start itself, there will be a greater demonstration of consensus when it comes to decision making. It's going to be hugely interesting. I mean, the alliance partners are very, very different. We've got Chandrababu Naidu, who's spoken about, taking care of Muslim needs and beliefs. And we've had a BJP, which in the campaign, in the run up to the election, has had several Islamophobic references, lots of rhetoric, which was quite frankly anti-Muslim. So how are these people going to balance going ahead? Will the BJP be ready to take not a back seat, but one of the seats instead of just being a single throne? It's going to be fascinating to watch.
Yeah. Of course, if we go by the numbers, Maya, the BJP will have to be a little humble in this bargain that it has made with the TDP and the JDU. But one of the things that the Prime Minister took a jibe with against the Congress party and the opposition, in fact, particularly, was the allegations against the EVM. And while the Congress has responded to this entire meet saying this is an NDA, this is a Naidu-Nitish dependent alliance, they haven't said really anything specific on what the Prime Minister said about the EVMs and the allegations that the opposition had been making in the past 10 years against it.
Yes, of course, that's always the case when a party doesn't do well. It'll blame the EVM and perhaps potential manipulation of the electronic voting machine. But with the opposition parties having done better, perhaps, than they expected, the complaints against the EVM has died down. This is not to say that there was no malpractice. We saw videos going out of people voting multiple times. We saw videos going out of EVMs being in places where they should not have been. So it's not a closed case just yet. It may not be as much in the interest of the opposition now to pursue it as much as they were doing when the election was going on. But who's to say also that the very close focus on the functioning of the EVMs do not even perhaps make the election more free and fair than it might have been otherwise? That is still an open story. I wouldn't say that story is ended yet, even though, like I said, the opposition having done better than perhaps they expected themselves, EVMs are not really a bone of contention at this point.
Okay. Can I also then ask you, Maya, particularly about, we've been talking about Nitish Kumar from Bihar, but particularly about Chirag Paswan as well. Here's a man who is, who's being lauded, who's being appreciated for his loyalty with the Prime Minister and the BJP, standing firm as an alliance. Now he's won the seats as well. There's a 100% strike rate that the LJP has in the state. How do you see this really moving forward, Chirag Paswan taking his father's legacy forward?
Well,
and of course, we saw those, lovely visuals of him meeting the Prime Minister today and hugging him as well.
He's a young man. He's got a lot of political time ahead of him. And his role will be very important because we have a lot of aging politicians. And when you bring in young blood like this, somebody who has a future, his father's legacy is, of course, there, as you said. So he is likely to be given a prominent role because he is a face of the future going ahead. And like he has not been, as you said, switching from side to side. So that itself is a very strong thing, which shows that he may be given some position of importance. I mean, he'll probably expect it. He'll probably get that position of importance. So going ahead, he will be a big player. I mean, and a youth on his side, of course, and as an outreach to youth, because, of course, India being such a young country, he would be a face that would appeal to the younger voters of India, to the younger population of India.
And, if I talk about down south, Maya, you have Chandrababu Naidu, you've got Pawan Kalyan as well, whom the Prime Minister said he's not Pawan, he's Andhi. Interesting dynamics really playing out with the South Indian leaders as well, with the regional parties there.
Absolutely. Of course, Chandrababu Naidu himself has an interesting past when it comes to his relationship with the BJP.
Yeah.
And of course, after the victory in the coalition and the formation of the NDA, there have been several of his older tweets which are being shared where he was, to put it mildly, critical of the BJP. So that is history. That is a reality which will have to be overcome and worked on. But the revival of Chandrababu Naidu in his state has been enormous. Pawan Kalyan, yes, there is always that film star factor, especially in southern states when it politically, perhaps Karnataka may be the only exception where film stars didn't make such a huge impact as they did in the other southern states. But Pawan Kalyan, putting that appeal across, tying up, being part of that successful coalition, certainly a name to be reckoned with. And of course, here in Karnataka, we've got the JDS with 2 seats, every seat valuable for the NDA right now. So will former Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy also perhaps demand a portfolio for himself? What will that be like going ahead? Because when you have so many coalition partners, you'll want to keep each of them happy. There are only so many ministerial portfolios. The bigger alliance parties will want the plum posts. So a lot of calculation to go on. And especially since the BJP wants to expand itself in the South as well. It's looking at the South really as a place for potential expansion. Until now, it's really only been Karnataka, which has really shown them favor until 2024. They have improved their standing in 2024. So they'll be doing what they can to express to the people of South India, yes, we pay attention to you as well. So it's likely that the allies from the South will get a good share of the cake that's being divided.
Which is what I was coming to next, Maya. You know, the swearing-in ceremony is all set to take place on Sunday. But whom do you place your bets on? The Plum Ministry is going to whom? What would be the bargains that have been made? Who would be made the ministers there in crucial ministries?
Well, you know, of course, both the JDU and the TDP are saying we've made no conditions. We want to be a part of this. We want to be a part of this government. But behind the scenes, I mean, I think many of us would love to be just a fly on the wall to know what is going on. Those negotiations are going on hard and fast. The Telugu Desam, of course, denying that it wants the speaker's position, that it wants this, that it wants that. But I'm sure that the plum portfolios, whether it's defense, finance, home, at least some of them will be going to the allies. I think that is something the BJP will have to accept. They will, of course, want to keep the main things for themselves. But I'm seeing at least some of these plum portfolios going to the allies. And of course, it's not just a question of the TDP bargaining for itself or the JDU bargaining for itself. They'll also be bargaining against each other in some way, in the sense that, like I said, limited portfolios to go around. But it'll be fascinating to see because we're expecting a full cabinet to be sworn in along with Prime Minister Modi on Sunday. So we'll know soon enough. But to guess which ones, well, that is a little tough. But reportedly, of course, the TDP wanting certain portfolios, even though they say we've not been bargaining. We're not making any demands at all.
And nobody is believing them clearly, and it's going to be a long wait, Maya Sharma, till Sunday for us journalists as well as the entire country as we see and, you know, that cabinet unfolds there in front of our eyes. But thank you very much, Maya Sharma, for joining us on the broadcast this evening and sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
All right, with that, we're slipping into a short break. News and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned to Mirror Now.